What's going on YouTube? Cloverbells here, back with another Series 11 video, and this time we are finally releasing the big rental code video that I promised that would come out in the beginning of the format. So those 5 team building videos that we've been doing on the channel, now they are all rental codes, and everyone keeps saying, I need teams, the new format has begun, I have nothing to play. You need the team, I got the team for you. And we're going to give you 5 solid teams around the 5 restricteds that we've been using in the team building videos: Kyogre, Zacian, Groudon, Dialga, and Calyrex Ice Rider. So without further ado, let's just go straight into the teams. And I'll also accompany a Pokepaste with a little bit of a brief description on how the EVs were constructed. But if you want more information on like the damage calcs with the EVs, you have to check out the team building video, because I want to keep this video brief and just get out the codes just so that you guys can get the teams that you want and start playing the format. So let's just get straight onto it. Coming up in number 1, it is Kyogre. So this was the Kyogre team that we featured in the very first team building video for the format. Of course, it is going to be Mystic Water, and we are Life Orb Tornadus, believe it or not, because more often than not, one way to stop Kyogre is to click Fake Out on the Tornadus, right? But now we're going to punish that by being able to go with a Dynamax on the Tornadus and go for a hard-hitting Max Airstream, and this way Kyogre still gets some sort of speed control after the Airstream. And then from here we have Metagross. So like I've always said, I always fancy a Steel type on a Rain type of team, and we did this in Series 8 where I also put Metagross on a Kyogre team, but that team was a little bit different. So it's good to see weakness policy Metagross back, because it very much missed Dynamax, and again with the Rain you're able to remove the fire weakness at the very least, right? And we can proc the weakness policy with the Brutal Swing. So that's always great. Zapdos is on the team just as a flying pivot for the Metagross, and it has the safety goggles rather than the Life Orb, because we have the Life Orb on the Tornadus, but this is just extra security against the Sun matchup against Groudon and Venus, or Sleep Powder and Amoonguss shenanigans. So Zapdos fits very well on this type of team. Then to close it out, we have the 2 Fake Out brothers, Rillaboom and Incineroar. Might as well include these 2, right? So double Fake Out pressure, intimidate support. Rillaboom now has the Miracle Seed, because I believe this is its best item in a Dynamax format, because it can go for those hard-hitting Wood Hammers, and it is also something that appreciates the rain, just like Metagross on the team. And something else that's a little unexpected is Incineroar, but this is AV Incineroar, Assault Vest Incineroar. I very much like Assault Vest Incineroar in a Dynamax format. So with this type of Incineroar, you're a little bit more offensive, and you can surprise the opponent, especially with our amount of attack investment. So that's the team. Let's just go into the Pokepaste and just briefly talk about the EVs. Okay, so these are the EVs for our Kyogre Tornadus squad. So again, the Kyogre is just specifically EV'd to outspeed Regieleki after Tailwind. The Tornadus EV spread is just, max Timid with a little bit of HP optimization for the Life Orb. Metagross has enough speed to outspeed base 100s after a +1 Airstream, and also after Tailwind it can also outspeed Calyrex Shadow, so this way you don't get hit by that super effective Astral Barrage. Zapdos speed tier, so we are modest, we're a harder hitting Zapdos, which also means we're a little bit slower but a little bit more bulkier, and our speed is at 146, which will specifically outspeed Venusaur outside of Sun. Alright, the Incineroar, that speed tier is just meant to outspeed max speed Turbo Shroom Amoonguss. Alright, because that's back in the format, and of course the Adamant 116 is just enough attack investment to reach the second EV bump in the attack EVs, and it can also one-shot most bulky 252 Adamantzations. So yeah, assuming they don't have any defense investment. So yeah, Rillaboom speed tier, again, just enough speed to outspeed certain speed creepers under Tailwind that can outspeed Calyrex Shadow. 115 is a pretty good speed tier. Of course, the HP is for grassy terrain recovery, and you just want an overall max Adamant 252 attack for the hardest hitting Grassy Glide and Wood Hammer. So relatively straightforward EV spreads on some of these, not too complicated, but if you want to know some of the damage calcs, feel free to check out the team building video with this squad. But moving on along, let's go to our second team. All right, coming in at number 2 was that Zacian Dragapult Coalossal team. This was the second team building video that we did to start off the format. So this is an offensive Dragapult rather than support Dragapult, just so that we can add that added surprise factor and play the little mind games with the opponent. You know, is this support Dragapult? Is this offensive one? So we are offensive with Surf just to be able to at least proc the weakness policy on our Coalossal. And of course, Zacian does really well after Coalossal can get off its Vocalith, just because over 5 turns, things are taking chip damage from the Vocalith. And even if Coalossal goes down, once the Vocalith is up, Zacian can just come in from the back and finish off the end game and, you know, just go for those hard-hitting Behemoth Blades. Urshifu is also here on the team just for another water-type attacker and can also proc the weakness policy on the Coalossal with an Aqua Jet. Great against Landorus as well, which is something sometimes the team can struggle against because Coalossal really doesn't like Landorus. So Urshifu Water is a great mod to have on the team. Amoonguss for redirection support. So also, you know, if you're playing the mirror matchup, Amoonguss is really good against an opposing Coalossal just because you can redirect that super effective attack. And then Moltres, also something that benefits from the Amoonguss redirection support. You can go for a nasty plot and is also very good into the Calyrex Shadow matchup. And it also gives you an Airstreamer on the team, which is great for, you know, Dragapult and Urshifu in general. So yeah, Galarian Moltres with the safety goggles, again, is just extra security against the Sun matchup because, you know, Sun is very, very strong in Series 11, so you might as well put the goggles on this. And I would also like to point out that the Zacian is the typical Cloverbell's favorite. It is Swords Dance Zacian, and it gets support from the Amoonguss redirection overall. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the EVs. All right, so this is the EV spread here, and notice that we are Adamant Zacian with the first attack investment in 76, and what this also does is we can take some attacks relatively well, and if you want to know more about those damage calcs, again, feel free to check out the team building video. It was the second one that we released. The Dragapult is just enough speed to outspeed Spectrier, so the rest can go into a little bit more bulk and also just max attack in general. And notice that we have 0 IVs in the special attack, so this way we don't completely destroy our Coalossal when we use Surf and activate the weakness policy. All right, the Urshifu is relatively straightforward because it is Focus Sash, so 252, 252 spreads. The Amoonguss has HP optimization for a regenerator, and just overall very bulky on both the defensive and special defensive end. The Moltres has enough speed to outspeed G-Max Cinderace, so this way you can get your Airstream off first, and just overall a little bit more bulk in the HP department and just max modest special attack in that regard. So again, just like the Kyogre squad, relatively straightforward EVs, nothing too crazily complicated. I do like to also point out with the Coalossal, we have enough speed to outspeed G-Max Venusaur after weakness policy in the Sun, and we also have enough speed to outspeed the other Colossals that are trying to do the same thing, so we're 1 point faster than them. All right, so moving along to team number 3. All right, our third rental code features our own kind of Sun team. It is a Groudon Sun team, and again, we have both Venusaur and Charizard are back on the team, just because both of them greatly benefit from Dynamax, or in this case, Gigantamax. Venusaur gets the Chlorophyll boost from Groudon's Drought ability, so it doubles in speed and goes for that hard-hitting G-MaxVineLash. And we are Life Orb Venusaur, so we are going to hit harder than normal. Notice that we do have the Weather Ball tech, so this way we can use a Fire move against an opposing Venusaur. Groudon has the Lumberry just in case against, you know, the opposing mirror matchup where, you know, Venusaur goes for, you know, Sleep Powder or an Amoonguss goes for Spore. We can have Lumberry to protect us against it, and also things are going to want to burn the Groudon, so Lumberry just really comes in clutch, especially if we're going for Swords Dance. Thundurus here, this is the AV Thundurus that was very popular in Series 8, but we have a specific EV spread for it, and it does have certain defensive calcs, so again, you feel free to check out the team building video to see what those calcs do, but we've opted for Brick Break rather than Superpower just because Grimmsnarl is back in the format, and Brick Break is our tech of choice. This way we can break opposing screens. Crunch is also a good dark move to have rather than you know, Foul Play, in the sense that, you know, outside of, you know, hitting weakness policy procced mons, Crunch is very, very strong, and it can one-shot Calyrex Shadow, of course. All right, Porygon 2. Again, just be able to set Trick Room and Ice Beam coverage against opposing Landorus. Relatively straightforward there. Our Charizard, because we don't have the Life Orb, we are Wakanberry just to live a Regieleki attack. And the Incineroar is also our opposing Sun mirror matchup answer, where we have the safety goggles. So this way we can KO the Venusaur with a Flare Blitz in the Sun. All right. So now let's just go ahead and take a look at the EVs. All right, so here's our EV spreads, and the Groudon, again, second attack bump with Adamant Nature. And notice that we have quite a bit of speed on our Groudon, 126. Again, just like the Moltres that we did, we're doing this to outspeed Cinderace because there's no way we want to take a G-Max Fireball in the face. So having that Airstream boost to outspeed Cinderace is also very, very helpful. And again, just overall a little bit extra bulk with the HP department. Thundurus, again, it's a bulky Thundurus. It has certain calcs for it. Just be sure to check out the team building video to see what those calcs are. Charizard, straightforward, timid, 252 speed, and just jumped into special attack. And again, the Wakanberry is for the Regieleki electric moves. Porygon 2, notice we are modest, first bump here, and also enough speed to outspeed other Porygons and to also outspeed base 100s after 2 Airstreams. Just overall a little bit of a tech there, right? It's modest, not really a defensive Porygon, although we do have defense investment, and this defense investment will allow us to survive a close combat from a 252 Zacian. All right, Incineroar. So this is a very fast Incineroar, 116 speed investment, 95 specifically, just to be able to outspeed 99% of the Incineroars in the format. We like faster fake out, and again, also enough defensive investment with the HP to survive a Zacian close combat. Venusaur, enough HP just to optimize Life Orb. Chip Recoil, and enough speed where under Chlorophyll you outspeed Calyrex Shadow and some of its speed creepers, and just dump the rest into the third bump in the special attack department. Okay, so just being very brief on the EVs, let's go ahead and move on to the next team. All right, team number 4. This is the big one, right? This is the one that I've been hyping all series thus far, or at least prior to when it started. The Dialga squad that we built, it just has so many tools on it. Of course, you have the Cloverbell's favorite. You have Grimmsnarl with that screen support and that scary face tech that we love to use in Series 8. It's back again in Series 11. And our Dialga is more offensive this time with the Life Orb, and it has Trick Room on it. So this way we have that extra speed control, and also with the Amoonguss, we can abuse Trick Room because we can spore everything and then just go for hard-hitting attacks. Landorus also something that appreciates Amoonguss support because we can go for Rage Powder plus Swords Dance plays and then Dynamax the Landorus with going for, +2 Airstreams or +2 Max Quakes. Incineroar just to give us our second Intimidator on the team, a Fake Out user, and great against Zacian overall. And then Blastoise is the big one on this team. Zacian Blastoise teams are rising. Well, I'm here to say, Dialga and Grimmsnarl and Blastoise are also very, very strong. Blastoise is another mon that appreciates Amoonguss redirection support because you can go for Shell Smash, and you have the White Herb to remove those special defense drops. And the other defense drops as well. And, this is another form of speed control because you get +2 speed, +2 special attack. And Water Spout is our water move of choice because if you go first and you can go for a hard-hitting Water Spout, and that's very detrimental to the team, opposing team, I should say. You can even lead Grimmsnarl, Blastoise, and go for Scary Face, outspeed everything with your own Blastoise, and then hit him with a Water Spout. So another cool combo that you can do. But overall, just a very solid a team that has redirection, intimidate, double intimidate actually, fake out, screen, speed control, scary face, Trick Room, that sort of thing. So a very solid Dialga team. And now let's just take a look at the EV spreads and see what they're doing. All right, so this is our EV spread for our Dialga squad. Just 12 speed in Dialga just to be faster than some other Dialgas. But again, it puts it at 112. So this way, after 2 Airstreams, you outspeed Calyrex Shadow. And coverage move again with the Thunderbolt, which is good against Kyogre because that's electric coverage is always welcome on a team that needs it. The Landorus, that speed tier puts it at 146, which is faster than Venusaur by 1 point outside of the sun. So very, very helpful there. And of course, we do have the Lumberade to help us out against Sleep Powder, Spore Shenanigans. The Grimmsnarl speed tier is enough for outspeeding base 100s after 2 airstreams, and then just being an overall bulky Grimmsnarl with certain bumps in the defense, and then just the rest in special defense and HP. The Amoonguss, same idea, optimize HP for regenerator when you withdraw to optimize how much HP you regain. First bump in the special defense nature, and then the rest just dumped into defense. If you want to know, again, all the damage calcs, it's all in our team building videos. The one that has the most calcs, I would say, is the Blastoise. The Blastoise is at 114 speed. So again, one thing I wanted to do was just not speed tie our Dialga. So I put it 2 points higher than it. And again, just after Shell Smash, you can outspeed Calyrex, Shadow Rider, and certain speed creepers for it. So yeah, it's a very cool Blastoise spread. It lives a lot of things, especially with the screen and Intimidate support. So definitely check out what those calcs are in the team building video that was done before the Calyrex video. All right, and Incineroar, again, it's a fast Incineroar, base 95 speed, just to outspeed most Incineroars in the format, and having enough defense investment where you can survive a Zacian close combat after an Intimidate drop. Okay, so yeah, overall, just a pretty solid team in what it can do. And again, Dialga is something that very much missed Dynamax. So the fact that now you can have max Steel Spikes and max Quakes is great for it. So yeah, let's just go on to the final team. All right, the final team that we are showing is Calyrex Ice Rider, and this is the one that we did in our most recent team building video. Again, we're welcoming back AV Incineroar because AV Incineroar is really good on Calyrex Ice Rider teams because you can self-proc your weakness policy by going for a U-turn. So, you can always lead Incin, Calyrex, U-turn out and bring in your Amoonguss while setting your Trick Room. So this way, you can start abusing with Glacial Lance and Trick Room Pressure. I just realized that I put Trick Room as the first slot. I should have put it as the last slot. I almost never do that, but it happened when I was making the squad. Now, the Amoonguss, again, just with the Focus Sash being able to at least survive one attack, so you can set up said Trick Room. Mimikyu is on the team just to be that primary Trick Room setter, even though Calyrex has the Trick Room option. Incineroar Mimikyu is a very common lead with this team, just to be able to guarantee that Trick Room and then pivot out and get your Calyrex in, and then side proc with Shadow Sneak and then Dynamax your Calyrex, and then just sweep opposing teams that just don't have an answer for it. All right, Tapu Fini is also pretty good, just so that you can switch it in, so that way your Calyrex doesn't get burned or slept on because of Misty Surge. And Moltres is, again, another mon that benefits from the Amoonguss redirection. This time, we don't need the safety goggles on it. We put the Life Orb on it. So this way, we're doing max damage on this thing with the Verve. And again, it is our opposing Calyrex Shadow matchup. So yeah, overall, a pretty fun team, a relatively solid team. Tapu Fini, again, will also miss Dynamax format. But just, Calm Mind plays are very, very strong, and yeah, I hope you try this one out. This is probably one of my more favorite teams. So let's just take a look at the EV spread, and then let's just wrap it up from here. All right, so this is our EV spreads for our Calyrex Ice Rider team, and again, shout out to Bars. This is his Calyrex Ice Rider spread, and the specific calc for this one is it will survive Life Orb 252 Astral Barrage from the other Calyrex, the Calyrex Shadow Rider. So from there, you can get your Trick Room up and then just dominate with, +2 Glacial Lances and whatnot. The Mimikyu, again, it's just overall relatively bulky. Nothing in particular here, just 4 speed to outspeed other Mimikyus. But yeah, it's just meant to be bulky. Incineroar, it's the same Incineroar that we've been using in terms of our AV set, just to outspeed Turbo Shroom and just having enough defense to live the close combat from Zacian after an Intimidate drop. And again, your first bump in the Adamant nature just to get a little bit more out of your attack and OHKO the bulky Zacians. Tapu Fini, 113 speed with this 60 speed investment. Third bump in the special attack. After Airstream, you can outspeed base speed 100. So, just an overall relatively standard Tapu Fini set. Nothing too special here. The Moltres, again, is meant to outspeed Cinderace and also has enough HP investment where it can live a Regieleki Thunderbolt and then get your Berserk proc going. Non-modest magnet, right? And again, the Amoonguss, again, just first bump in the careful nature, and then the rest just being relatively bulky and having optimized HP at 219 just to get your HP recovery going. So yeah, pretty cool Calyrex set. Just a solid team to start for Series 11, especially if you like the Calyrexes. So yeah, now let's just wrap it up here. So there it is, guys. That was all 5 of our teams here. So again, feel free to try all of them. Let me know what you think of each squad if you do try them. And again, also this happened one time, but if you think there's a mistake on one of the mons where like the Pokepaste is not matching one of the mons in terms of the EV spreads, please let me know so this way I can remake the code and correct it. 5 teams is a lot, and sometimes I miss a thing here or there, but I tried my best not to do that. I made sure everything had the right ability, not something with Defiant and not Prankster. Was something that I did in the first team. So yeah, let me know if I made a mistake. And but yeah, we'll be back in the next video. This time we're gonna try out all 5 of our teams. Yes, but it's time that I started playing again rather than inviting a guest. So be on the lookout for my own battle videos. So until then, peace out.